I don't know if you can teach the mindset that's required to be a good entrepreneur. I don't know if you can teach the mindset that's required to be a good manager. I'll give you an example. You go to McDonald's, okay? And we've all seen McDonald's, and you got the manager, and the manager comes up, and we've literally seen them, the poor kid took $1.25 and only gave me back 50 cents instead of 75, right? And half the time I'm like, look, dude, keep the quarter. Except I know, having worked at McDonald's, the shift, it can't be off. The drawer can't be off. So I was like, nah, you should have given me a quarter there. So he's like, oh, my bad. And he calls the manager up. And the manager right there in front of you will hammer you. Will hammer him or her, right, for being 25 cents or for giving the wrong change. And you're like, no, what are you doing?
In front of the customer.
In front of the customer, right? We've all seen it.
Yep.
Well, where's the benefit there? Who's that made to feel better? Who feels better from doing that? The manager or the kid working the register? How much more effective is the kid working the register if he's getting hammered right in front of the customer, right? Is he going to come away from that with his head up and his chin high and feeling good about himself and giving me my quarter back and saying, thank you, sir, I appreciate it? Or kind of, as is often the case, hands it back, kind of shrunk, kind of beat up on? No, I mean, there's no value in that manager doing that. There just isn't, except for her or him. The value that they get, which is really, it's a momentary hit of cocaine that quickly goes away and then has a deleterious effect on you like a drug would anyway, because there's no respect. There's no conversation between the employees. So
loss of morale.
It's a loss of morale ethic. Without a doubt. Everybody will make fun of him or her. They all know what they're having to deal, or people know what they're having to deal with. People know. How many of us have had managers or bosses that were just assholes and love to take that shit out on us, right? How many, when you're the boss, when you're in charge, and you're an entrepreneur, you almost have to be magnanimous. I'll give you an example. I bought a new brake cue. Mm-hmm. Billy and I were out checking it out today. It's a special order one I've been waiting to get. They're very hard to get. They ain't cheap, but they're badass. And I get this new brake cue. My buddy brings me the new brake cue. He deals in cues. This guy's in love with cues. He has a cue collection. I mean, it's motherfucker's into cues. And he brings me the cue. It's brand new, never been used, nothing. He makes a joke as he's leaving that he broke with it just to give me shit, right? And then one of the guys on our pool team steps up. He's like, dude, do I get to use the new cue? I was like, no. He goes walking up like he's going to use it. He says, no way. I said, no way, man. You're not getting it first. And he turns around and walks back away. I was like, no. I'm just joking. Hit it. Have at it. What's the value to me as a teammate? Excuse me. What's the value to me, to him as a teammate? What's the value of me to him as the coach, as the captain of the team? When I let him hit with this mondo expensive special brake cue the first time. He's the first one who got to use it. What am I out?
Nothing.
Zero. What did I get for it?
Respect.
A lot. A ton. It comes back to you. And it's not just about what you get. It's about building the team together and making moves and doing things that facilitate that cohesion, right? That facilitate that teammate working together mentality. Maybe he's one that likes to yell and scream or get all pissed off when he loses, right? Well, now you can go up to him a lot easier and go, hey, dude, let's not get too excited about it. There's no value in doing that. And that thing where he remembers, hey, that guy is the guy let me hit with his brand new cue. That's the guy that put himself out. That's the guy that put me ahead of him, is going to come back and have tremendous value. How many people do you know like that?
Not very many.
I don't know very many people like that at all. Very, very few. Because we're all fucked up. We all got to be right all the time. We always have to make sure that people know that we're right. I always say, if you have to tell people that you're smart, you're probably not as smart as you think you are. It's why when I'm on this show and we're doing this, I'm always very uncomfortable about saying, this is what I think. Because I should never have to tell you that if I think that I'm smart. But I do have all of this experience that I want to pass on to people, and I suppose it's a fine line. But if you're entrepreneurial at all, if you have any aspirations to being a manager, you know how I always say I'm Superman. And I believe that that there are supermen and women out there. They just don't know that they are, but they're rare because you don't know till you're tested.